Yesterday, Sayadaw explained that in order to note every arising object that is arising at the present moment, such as rising and falling of the abdomen, one needs to apply jhanic factors. And Sayadaw explained that in each noting, how jhanic factors are applied as well as other mental states. Combining these jhanic factors as well as these other mental states, the mind becomes amazingly strong, energetic. And Sayadaw explained about Vitakka jhananga, jhanic factor of Vitakka. Vitakka applies the mind onto the object so that the noting mind will be face to face or direct with the object. When the noting mind is aimed or directed towards the object over and over again, nivarana, hindrances, have no chance to arise. Especially, one needs Vitakka in order to dispel Tinamita, sloth and torpor. And Sayadaw explained that Tinamita is directly opposite of Tinamita. Vitakka counters Tinamita. And Vitakka is defined as viparava. It keeps the mind active. Vitakka activates the mind so that the mind is active. When we say the mind is active with Vitakka, it doesn't mean that the mind is active in a gross or in a gross way, but actually the mind becomes active when the Vitakka pervades in the mind becomes active. When it is said that Vitakka pervades in the mind, it shows that there is activity. The mind becomes active, awake, alert, and ready to note the object. Having Vitakka present, the mind will not be sluggish or lazy. When the mind is sluggish and lazy, it can be compared to the refrigerated butter that is hard, cold, and congealed. In the same way, when there is laziness, sluggishness, the mind is hard, congealed, and congested. Applying Vitakka, the mind becomes open, blossom, and active, and it is opposite of Tinamita, sloth and torpor, which makes the mind contracted, constricted, and it makes the mind shrink. Having Vitakka present, the mind will not be constricted, contracted or shrink, but the mind will become spread out, open, blossom, and active. So it is Vitakka which is making the mind spread out, open, blossom, and active. In the beginning of the practice, Vitakka is very important to drive out Tinamita. Tinamita, sloth and torpor, is the nearest internal enemy that gives most trouble to beginner yogis. Applying Vitakka, Vitakka can burn, scorch and remove Tinamita, sloth and torpor. So when this Vitakka, jhanic factor of Vitakka, becomes strong and matured, Tinamita, sloth and torpor has no chance to arise. Vichara is explained as reflection, and there is ordinary kind of reflection by thinking, but in the course of practice, one reflects on the object when the noting mind rubs onto the object. When vichara is present, the noting mind will be sustained, the noting mind will be rubbing against the object so that the noting is effective, and one will know clearly about the object that one can make a decision what it is. Having vichara present, there will not be confusion, uncertainty, or doubt. And this vichara resembles panya, knowledge. It is said that vichara is panya katika. It resembles to knowledge. Having vichara, one will be free of doubt. If there is vicikiccha, skeptical doubt, one will not be sure, one will not be certain what the object is, how it is. When one does not understand clearly, there will be uncertainty, doubt, confusion. Not having vichara, one will have confusion, uncertainty, and doubt. When the noting mind is not applied onto the object, when the noting is not effective, then the mind cannot be free from confusion or doubt. So this is called vicikiccha, skeptical doubt. One cannot decide whether it is true or not. One cannot decide what it is if one has vicikiccha, skeptical doubt. When the noting mind is aimed towards the object, when the noting mind rubs onto the object, the noting will be effective. When there is rising of the abdomen, the noting mind should be aimed towards the rising of the object. When the noting mind meets the nature such as stiffness, tension, movement, then yogi knows clearly that it is stiffness, tension, movement without any doubt. When the noting mind rubs against the object, there is vichara present. So one will be clear that there is stiffness, tension, movement when noting rising of the abdomen. So the person will be certain, the person will be confirmed and decided that it is stiffness, tension, movement. So the person is clear of the object. There will be saddha, faith and confidence. At this stage, this faith and confidence is not firm yet, but there will be faith and confidence when the yogi can note effectively on the object. And the person will be certain about the object. There will be confirmation, decision, what it is, and thus there will be saddha, faith and confidence. Having vichara, this vichara resembles knowledge. It is called panya katika. It resembles knowledge. One will know clearly about the object when vichara is present, and one will be free from uncertainty and doubt. Vicikiccha, skeptical doubt, Having vicikicca, skeptical doubt, one cannot decide what it is, and one cannot confirm what it is. So this vicikicca, skeptical doubt, is directly opposite of vichara. When vicikicca arises, there will be uncertainty and doubt. And when the noting mind rubs onto the object, the person will be clear about the object. There will be certainty, and thus uncertainty, doubt has no chance to arise. Having vicikicca, skeptical doubt, the wholesomeness that can arise by lack of vicikicca has no chance to arise when vicikicca is present. Vicikicca, skeptical doubt, will take the place, and thus wholesomeness cannot arise. Vicikicca pollutes the mind, and thus it is called cetaso upakilesa. The mind becomes polluted when when vicikicca is present. And vicikicca also hinders knowledge from arising, and it can also weaken knowledge that had arisen, and it is called paññāya dubbalikarana. Vicikicca can hinder the knowledge from arising, and it also weakens the knowledge. Vichara counters vicikicca. Having vichara present, the noting mind rubs onto the object. The person will be certain. The person will not be confused about the object. Having vichara present, vicikicca, skeptical doubt, has no chance to arise. Vicikicca, skeptical doubt, is the opposite of vichara. When vichara is present, vicikicca cannot arise, and thus vicikicca is removed. Vichara can burn, scorch, and remove vicikicca, so that this vicikicca has no chance to arise. When vichara becomes strong, vichara can overcome nivarana, hindrances, and especially this vichara has the quality of removing vicikicca, skeptical doubt. That's why vichara can be called japana, or in other words jayana, because vichara can burn, scorch, and remove the nivaranas, especially vicikicca, skeptical doubt. Vicikicca is very frightening, and usually vicikicca, skeptical doubt, arise in the people who do not practice, who do not have practice but waste their time with thinking and reflecting. The ones who are wasting their time with thinking and reflecting without any practice, vicikicca, skeptical doubt, deceive the person as if it is true knowledge. So the person is deceived by vicikicca, skeptical doubt, if the person is merely thinking, reflecting, without doing any practice. Having vicikicca, the person will not be certain about the object, but when the person wastes his or her time with reflecting and thinking only, this vicikicca is in disguise of paññā, the person thinking that it is his or her true knowledge, but instead it is vicikicca, skeptical doubt, deceiving the person. When the noting mind is not direct or face-to-face with the object, when the noting is not effective, the person will not know the true nature of the object. It will only be imaginary. When the person sees things in an imaginary way, the vicikicca, skeptical doubt. When the person is reflecting only, without doing practice, it will not be atta picchaka, it will not be direct experiential knowledge, and thus the person will not know the true nature. It will only be imaginary. When the person is reflecting, the person reflects for the truth, but actually knowledge will not arise without practice. In this case, vicikicca, skeptical doubt, will be in disguise of paññā, knowledge, and the person is deceived by vicikicca, skeptical doubt. One should note the object that is to be known with direct experiential knowledge. So in order to know the true nature, one should apply vitakka, one should aim the noting mind towards the object. If one does not aim the noting mind towards the object, the noting mind will not be direct with the object of meditation, and thus the noting mind will not rub onto the object, and thus the person will have uncertainty and doubt. If the person is thinking, reflecting, without giving priority to the practice, then what she knows will not be true, but it will only be thinking and reflecting without having true knowledge. During the Buddha time, there was one Brahmin hermit coming to Buddha, and he said that he had heard many beliefs from other people. These people say this, that people say that, but he was not able to confirm which of them is true. And the person is wasting his or her time, not knowing which one is true. The person is just thinking and reflecting, not being able to decide which of them is true. And the person does not do any practice, and the person cannot decide what is true, what is right. It is beyond his knowledge. And Buddha said, for those who do not practice, who waste their time with thinking and reflecting, Buddha cannot do anything for such person who waste their time thinking, reflecting, without doing any practice. So even Buddha cannot help the person who do not practice, who only waste their time with thinking and reflecting. So such kind of people who do not practice, but who is only thinking and reflecting, are even complained by the Buddha that Buddha cannot help such kind of person. When Buddha taught Satipatthana practice in this Satipatthana Sutta, in the beginning of this Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha guaranteed the benefits of Satipatthana practice, such as purification of the mind and so on. If one practices accordingly, one will get these benefits. Only Buddha could guarantee such benefits, and no other person can give guarantee in the way Buddha did. So in the beginning, the person should have theoretical knowledge. The person should have faith and confidence based on the theory that the person had read or listened before. When it is probable and reasonable, one should have faith and confidence, and one should cultivate the faith and confidence that one has awakened by doing practice. One should cultivate faith and confidence by practicing, by observing presently arising objects. One should aim the noting mind towards the object so that the noting mind will be face to face or direct with the object. When the person again and again notes this way, the noting mind will rub onto the object. There will be vichara. The noting mind is connected, bonded to the object of meditation. And thus, one will be free from uncertainty and doubt. When the noting mind falls calm and collected on the object, the person will come to know the true nature. The person will know clearly, and thus the person will be free from doubt and uncertainty. When there is vitakka and vichara, one will be free from nivarana, hindrances, which pollute the mind. When the person is mindful for one moment, the mind will be free from nivarana, hindrances for one moment, and thus the mind will not be polluted, it will be pure and clean. As much the person is mindful, the mind will be free from nivarana, hindrances such as kama chanda, sensual desire, and so on. And also other unwholesome mental states will not have any chance to arise when there is vitakka and vichara present. When the noting mind is direct or face to face with the object, one will be certain of the object, one will know clearly, and thus one will not have any uncertainty or doubt. One will develop knowledge. When knowledge is developed, one can confirm and decide that this is the true Dhamma. So one should cultivate the awakened saddha, faith and confidence, by practice, by noting, applying the jhanic factors of vitakka and vichara. And when the mind is calm and collected on the object of meditation, the person comes to know the true nature, and knowledge will be developed. When knowledge is developed, the person comes to accept, confirm, and decide that it is the true Dhamma. So one needs to develop and cultivate saddha, faith and confidence. One should develop, cultivate, increase the kind of mental states that are necessary. Only then one will develop knowledge. Having Suttamaya Jnana, the kind of knowledge one gains through reading or from learning from teachers, one will not know the true nature. Thinking, reflecting alone, one cannot know the true nature. So there are two kinds of knowledges: Suttamaya Jnana, the knowledge that is gained through reading or learning from teachers, and Sindhamaya Jnana, the knowledge gained through reflection. With these two knowledges, one will not discern nama rupa, mind and matter distinctly, and one will not realize nibbana, the total peace, through these two knowledges. And one should be developing mental states that should be developed, and when one knowledge becomes matured, one will know the true nature, and the knowledge will be gained through personal experience of practice. One will be wasting time if she is reflecting, thinking only without doing any practice. If the person talks about what he thinks, what she thinks, it will not be from his or her knowledge, and thus it will not be true, and the person cannot overcome uncertainty or doubt. One should practice so that it will be attapachaka, there will be knowledge through direct personal experience, and thus it will be true knowledge. Without practicing, without experiential knowledge, there will be uncertainty and doubt. If the person does not note the object, the noting mind will not be direct or face-to-face with the object. When the noting mind does not rub onto the object, the person will not know the true nature. That's why one needs to note the object with aim and effort, so that the noting mind will be direct or face-to-face with the object, and thus the noting will be effective, and the person will know the true nature, and one will be developing sati, samadhi, panya, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom, and the person will discern mind and matter, as well as cause and effect, and also the characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Such kind of knowledge gained through direct experience, the knowledge that is gained through practice, will be true and correct, and one will be free from uncertainty and doubt. So that's why it is very important to apply these two jhanic factors of vitakka and vichara. One has to apply vitakka and vichara in the practice so that one can gain true knowledge. In the text, the explanation about abhiññāta is very noteworthy, especially to those who are practicing. Abhi means special knowledge, and ñāta are things that should be known. So abhiññāta are the nama rupa phenomena which really exist and which should be known with special knowledge. When we say special knowledge, what is it special from? It is said that Suttamaya Jnana, the theoretical knowledge, and Sindhamaya Jnana, the kind of knowledge gained through reflection, these two knowledges, Suttamaya Jnana and Sindhamaya Jnana, does not know the true nature of the object. The knowledge that is special from these two, Suttamaya Jnana and Sindhamaya Jnana, are the kind of knowledge that is gained through practice. When noting the presently arising object with aim and effort, when the jhanic factors of vitakka and vichara are applied, one will be developing sati samadhi, mindfulness and concentration, and one will be developing knowledge. And this knowledge gained through practice is special. It excels Suttamaya Jnana and Chintamaya Jnana. The two knowledges, Suttamaya Jnana and Chintamaya Jnana, does not know the true nature of objects, but the knowledge gained through practice is the true knowledge that knows the true nature of the object, and one's knowledge will be clear, and one will be free from doubt if one develops knowledge through practice. One should note the object as soon as the object arises. One should not give priority on thoughts and imagination, but one should only give priority to noting the object that is arising at the present moment. If the person is thinking and reflecting, one will only gain knowledge through thinking, and one will be losing bhavanamaya panya, knowledge gained through mental development practice. When the yogi is giving priority to thinking and reflecting, she will be losing bhavanamaya panya. So when one is practicing Vipassana meditation, one should not be thinking or reflecting what it is, how is it, why is it when an object arises. One should make it a point to note the object right away as soon as the object arises, and one should note with aim and effort. When one exerts effort, one can overwhelm laziness. Applying jhanic factors of vitakka and vichara, one can overcome the nivaranas of tina mitta, sloth and torpor, and vicikiccha, skeptical doubt. Putting effort in the practice, one will gain victory moment by moment. Noting by noting, yogi gains victory over the kilesa defilement. And